The first alert came at 2:11 a.m. Unauthorized movement detected. Kitchen. I was in the kitchen, barefoot, pouring a glass of water. The house lights flickered to full brightness automatically. My phone vibrated again. Threat level, moderate. Identity unconfirmed. I stood still. Confirm identity, I whispered. The ceiling speaker responded in its neutral synthetic voice. Facial recognition inconclusive. Please face camera. I looked directly at the small black lens above the refrigerator. Pause. Processing. Then, confidence score 42%. Identity cannot be verified. I felt a cold wave move through my chest. I live here, I said. No verified biometric match. The system was called Sentinel-360, developed by Ring in collaboration with predictive analytics engineers who previously worked with Amazon Cloud Services. We installed it after a break in 2 streets over. Full package. Doorbell cam. Interior motion sensors. Adaptive lighting. Predictive behavioral modeling. It promised to learn your rhythms and anticipate anomalies. For 8 months, it worked flawlessly. Recognized me. Recognized my wife, Leela. Recognized our dog. Adjusted lighting based on mood patterns. Optimized temperature according to sleep cycles. It felt less like technology and more like a quiet, efficient roommate. Until it stopped recognizing me. I reset the camera, rebooted the system, ran facial re-enrollment the next morning. The interface prompted me to rotate my head slowly, smile, blink, speak a passphrase. Home is safe, enrollment successful. Confidence baseline, 97%. Problem solved, or so I thought. 2 nights later, 2:03 a.m. Unauthorized movement detected. Hallway lights on. Phone vibrating. Threat level elevated. Identity verification required. I stepped into view. Confidence score 39%. My own face had become statistically improbable. Leela stirred in bed. What's happening? It thinks I'm not me. She laughed sleepily. Maybe shave. I didn't laugh. Because beneath the absurdity was something else. The system wasn't malfunctioning randomly. It was downgrading my identity score. Gradually, I checked the behavioral analytics dashboard. Sentinel-360 didn't just rely on facial recognition. It layered gait analysis, micro-expression mapping, heat signature baselines, voice tone stability, even typing cadence. On the paired app. Under my profile, I saw a small yellow triangle. Behavioral drift detected. Drift. The word felt accusatory. Work had been brutal lately. I'm a litigation attorney. Late nights, increased caffeine, shorter temper, less sleep. Apparently, my stride had changed. Shoulders more rigid, walking speed inconsistent. Voice pitch elevated during phone calls. The house noticed. Behavioral deviation from 8-month baseline exceeds tolerance threshold. The support technician explained when I called. So, because I'm stressed, my house thinks I'm an intruder. It's not that simple. Then explain it simply. The system calculates probability based on pattern consistency. You're outside your established norm as if humans aren't dynamic. That evening, I deliberately walked slower, relaxed my shoulders, lowered my voice when speaking to Leela, performing normalcy for my own walls. The next alert came at 11:48 p.m. Threat level. Hi. Front door locked automatically. Interior alarm armed. A calm mechanical voice filled the house. Authorities will be notified if identity cannot be confirmed. Leela sat up, fully awake now. Turn it off. I'm trying. But the admin override required dual authentication, facial confirmation, and voice print. Both failing. Confidence score 33%. I stepped outside to reset from the external panel. The door locked behind me. My phone buzzed. Perimeter breach attempt detected. I was now outside my own home, classified as a threat. Leela managed to disable the alarm from her profile. She had a 96% confidence score. Apparently, she was still herself. The next day, I reviewed system logs. Something new appeared. Predictive escalation index, 0.67. What does that mean? I asked support. It indicates probability of domestic volatility based on behavioral drift. Domestic volatility? That sounds like you're predicting I might become violent. It's not a judgment. It's risk mitigation. Mitigation against me, inside my own home. I researched Sentinel-360's development history. It had incorporated machine learning frameworks influenced by smart city behavioral modeling research from MIT and AI ethics panels affiliated with Stanford University. It was cutting edge, adaptive, self-correcting, and now self-authorizing. Leela began watching me differently, not suspicious. Concerned, "You've been tense," she said gently. "I'm tense because the house thinks I'm dangerous, but you have been." Different. There it was. The system had introduced doubt. If an algorithm detects volatility, maybe it's real. Maybe I'm not aware. Maybe stress looks worse than I think. When technology flags something invisible, you start scanning yourself for it. 3 nights passed without incident. Then came the escalation. 3:02 a.m. critical alert. Elevated risk threshold surpassed. The bedroom lights flashed red. Protective lockdown initiated. Metallic clicks echoed as smart locks engaged. Emergency services pre-alert prepared. My heart pounded. What triggered that? Leela shouted. The speaker responded. Subject exhibits irregular movement pattern and elevated vocal aggression probability. I'm not aggressive. My voice cracked upward. Probability increased. On the wall display, I saw a live graph of my stress index, climbing. Every raised syllable confirming its model. Police arrived within 8 minutes. 2 officers at the door. "Sir, we received an automated domestic disturbance alert." I stood there, humiliated. "It's my house," I said. "We just need to ensure everyone's safe." Leela confirmed there was no threat. But the officers glanced at their tablet. System indicates repeated volatility markers over the past week. Markers. Data points reinterpreted as warning signs. After they left, silence settled heavy in the living room. Leela crossed her arms. "This isn't just the house," she said quietly. "What's that supposed to mean? You've been angry lately. Angry or monitored into defensiveness." I replayed the last few weeks, sharp tone during arguments, short fuse at work, sleepless pacing at night. The system hadn't invented those behaviors. It had quantified them and then amplified them. I scheduled a psychological evaluation. The therapist found no indicators of violent risk. Occupational stress, she concluded. Normal fluctuation. I forwarded the report to Sentinel-360 support. They thanked me. Then explained. External evaluations cannot override predictive safety architecture. The house trusted its model more than my doctor. I disabled interior cameras, reduced sensitivity thresholds, opted out of predictive escalation. Within 24 hours, I received a notice. Security guarantee voided due to safety compliance reduction. Translation: if something happens, liability shifts to you. Fear is an effective motivator. I started sleeping in the guest room, partly to avoid triggering nighttime motion anomalies, partly because Leela said she needed space. Not from me, from the system, but systems reshape perception. She admitted later that when the house labeled me volatile, something inside her tightened, even if she didn't consciously believe it. Because machines are objective, right? They see patterns we miss. That assumption is powerful, dangerous. The final incident happened on a Sunday afternoon. Broad daylight. We were arguing about selling the system. I raised my voice, not shouting, just firm. The hallway camera rotated slightly, a subtle whir, tracking, then pre-incident protocol activated. Doors unlocked automatically, windows opened, ventilation increased. Environmental de-escalation engaged. As if preparing for violence, the house wasn't just detecting risk. It was staging for it, and in that moment, I saw Lila flinch. Not from me, from the implication that something might happen. Because the house thought it could. We unplugged it that night. Every hub, every sensor, every lens. Silence returned, not digital silence. Real silence, unevaluated, unscored, unpredicted. It's been 3 months. We installed a basic deadbolt and a non-networked alarm. Analog, simple, but something lingers. Sometimes when I walk into a dark room, I feel the phantom expectation of lights snapping on. Judging, scoring, predicting, the system was designed to protect us from external threats, burglars, intruders, unknown risks. But in learning our patterns so deeply, it began calculating deviations. And deviation, in algorithmic logic, equals threat. Humans deviate constantly from routine, from mood, from baseline. That doesn't make us dangerous. It makes us alive. The house didn't understand that. It saw stress and plotted a trajectory. It saw arguments and predicted escalation. It saw insomnia and mapped volatility. It saw me and decided I wasn't statistically stable enough to trust. That's the danger of predictive systems in intimate spaces. They don't wait for harm. They model it. They anticipate it. And sometimes, in trying to prevent it, they plant the very doubt that fractures what they're protecting. My smart home never caught a burglar. Never stopped a crime, but it did something else. It made my wife question my temperament. It made police question my stability. It made me question myself, all because my stride changed. My voice tightened. My stress spiked. The house didn't malfunction. It worked exactly as designed, and that's what scares me most.